to you by Shawn Porter Promotions. Live from Los Angeles, it's time for the main event of the evening.
Welcome to the PorterWay Podcast, Showtime, and with 2 T's. We ain't playing around today. We getting right to it. Is Keith Thurman in your top 5 in the 147?
Hell no.
He's not in the top 5 in your one.
And I haven't even thought about this. Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence.
Even though.
Ooh, Boots.
Yeah.
Stand on this. Ooh, hold on. I'm trying to think of somebody else to put ahead of him.
Yeah.
Oh,
just gonna put somebody ahead of him.
It's getting tricky.
Mario Barrios?
You
just gonna put.
No, I just needed help.
Mario Barrios. So now
I don't care.
Keith is in.
I don't care what you did 5 years ago.
Antt with 2 T's. Keith is in Antt's top 5 because he didn't realize that Mario Barrios
No, he's not.
lost to Keith Thurman.
He
has Mario as his number 5, which means you just have to flip-flop that. It's just the way of the world.
Okay.
Keith is in your top 5.
Okay, listen. You want to talk about all-time heavyweights in the last 10 years? I got you over Keith. You want me to put Keith above you? You want to put Keith above you? Huh? You want to put Keith?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on, because you said top heavyweights, all right?
Welterweights in the last 10, 20. I got you over Keith.
Listen, that's different.
Oh, nice.
That's different. The difference is that's the overall body of work.
That was both 2 close fights. But shout out to Keith Thurman, man.
We were talking about Keith just before the show started, so I said, boom, that's just where we're going to start. We kind of wanted to look at the 147-pound division, take a look at Alexis Rocha losing last night.
Losing?
I didn't know much about Giovani.
Damn, what's Giovani?
Stennion. I didn't know much about him going into the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Both those guys have the exact same style.
Yeah.
Which I thought was just kind of crazy. It was like the mirroring image, and it was like either you move fast or your image in the mirror gonna move fast. And in that case, I think a lot of people didn't expect Giovani to come as hard as he came and to continue to just pour it on the way that he continued to pour it on all night on Alexis Rocha. And that just changes the 147-pound division.
I think Alexis Rocha was the one contender for something.
Yeah.
I mean, he got hit with some power shots. Took him.
Yeah.
Was bleeding in the second round. I think nose leaking.
Yeah.
My man was on a mission, and Alexis Rocha just ran into it. Sometimes people just got your number. And that dude, it's like, obviously Alexis was the A side. You were on another network. He's coming over from, my man's over from, he's a top-ranked fighter, fighting on his own, Golden Boy.
Yeah.
He came over there and get it done. You know, usually when something like that happens, it's a rematch.
Yeah.
There's no need for a rematch.
No need. And I think if anything, we can truly see where we thought Alexis Rocha was one of the top young guys in the division. And again, I have to say that those guys have the exact same style. If you don't agree with me, well, I'm sorry, you don't agree with me. I'm looking at the same fighter, and I'm just looking at one fighter beat the other fighter at his game. And so it was like we saw last night. I think we saw holes that we didn't know Alexis had, and it took someone having the same pressure, relentless style to expose those weaknesses. And it's like overnight, where this guy is ranked as high as definitely in the top 5. In the welterweight division, all of a sudden he's out of there. And I really feel like you got to put Giovani in there now because he's a bigger version of Alexis Rocha. That's why the breakdown happened the way that it happened, and that's why the fight went the way that it went. Giovani's a little bit bigger than Alexis Rocha and a little bit stronger, a little older, a little more seasoned, and if anything, you say, you know, he's the old dog at that trick right there that both guys have, you know?
So in the rankings, when the I don't understand rankings. Like, I seen you lose against Earl Spence or Thurman, and they dropped you out of the top 10 on one ranking.
It was when I lost to Kell Brook. When I dropped out of the IBF completely. It was like I was never there.
Yeah. How does that even work? You just did everything you supposed to do to honor
The funny thing is, in the moment, I didn't care.
I know.
I didn't care. My dad was pissed.
I was pissed.
My dad calling people. He trying to really this law process going.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm over here like
It is what it is.
I don't care, Dad. It's all good.
At before last night, WBO, Terrence Crawford obviously got that. Shout out TC. Alexis Rocha was number one contender. Was the number one in the rankings, and Giovani was 5, so that definitely moves him up past a couple people. But so it's you only get a lot of shots. I was thinking about this the other day, Shawn. Boxing, you get 2 shots at a championship, and I would say that's a title eliminator, and that's also a shot at the belt. You only get 2 shots at that in your career, in your whole career. People usually don't get more than that.
It's just
you
about
the
how it
exception,
goes.
a couple of the guys.
Yeah.
You got multiple chances.
Yeah.
But you knew what you was gonna get from Shawn Porter.
Yeah.
But
and real quick, Virgil Ortiz, you forgot about Virgil.
Don't say it because I was gonna bring it back.
But he ain't been active, y'all. So don't even come at him like that.
Nah, Virgil.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
If you want to do that, we can do that. Okay. Villa.
Cody Crowley. I mean, you gotta.
Cody Crowley retired yesterday.
Did
I think he was mad. He went to the fights and they wouldn't let him in off his name, Cody Crowley.
Oh, what fights? The zone fights?
Yeah, in L.A.
Oh, he tweeted something?
Yeah.
Oh, here, we'll leave that alone. Cody is my guy, so I know he ain't going.
Because he's number one contender for.
He ain't gonna let that stop him.
No. Cody gotta keep fighting, man. I mean, if you look at it on paper, obviously we can get a couple people.
Yeah.
Shout out to Keith Thurman.
I'm just looking at like how it's a little bit different depending on what what belt it is, and if y'all don't know by now, you can't be ranked the same in every weight in every division, because if you are and you're only fighting for the one of the belts, I ain't even gonna say the belts' names, but you fighting for one of the belts. Those other belts, they don't get seen and they don't make money. So what their thing is we'll bump somebody else up that we know is going to be seen, either fighting for our title or has our title, and that's how we make money, you know? So whenever you looking at it, he's like, this don't make sense. All the way across the board, it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, because this is the numbers. This is what we see in our face. Why isn't it that? Well, because that would stop the money from circulating the way that it does. Oops, I said it.
Hey, shout out to WBC. Guess who they got ranked? Coming in number 5, number 50. No, you're not. Hey, shout out. They just dropped.
Why? Like,
why would they put you in? If you come out of retirement, you would go in.
This is the interesting thing, though. I'm retired, and I'm happily retired.
But you're competitive.
I get hurt when I don't see my name on the TV. I get hurt. Screamed to my mother the other day. I said, hey, they ain't got me ranked? She said, no. I was like...
They dropped Keith Thurman out. Guess who they replaced Keith Thurman with? Past opponent of yours.
Danny.
Nope. Adrian Broner.
Oh. Who? Don't matter.
WBC.
They doing it. Whoever did it, Yeah, so.
Shout out to boxing, 147. Still hot.
To your point, though, you said you only get 1 or 2 shots.
I give you 2 shots.
Most times, you only get 1 or 2 shots. I've always believed that it's really, and I always like to say that I don't excuse losing, but sometimes it's just not it's not that you lost, it's how you lost. You know what I mean? And I said I wanted to talk about this. We're going to be really brief with it today because I don't really know the story, but I do know one side of this story with Devin Haney. Apparently his dad paid to get a loss taken off of his record or something like that. But to that point, if that loss is there, does he end up in this position?
Yeah. I don't think it.
I don't think so.
The talent
either.
is who he is.
Yeah.
And shout out to the source. It all leads back to Rolly Romero. So take that from where you want it.
Yeah. Should I have Rolly in today?
We need to have him on. It's been a while. We need that energy.
Yeah, we got to bring him in.
But at the end of the day, his talent is what it is. Look at Lomachenko.
I had an argument. This is why I brought it up, because I had an argument with somebody, to your point.
And then said
1 or 2
complete
losses.
opposites?
Yeah, 1 or 2 losses and you don't get that shot again. And he not supposed to be there.
Lost.
He lost. He not supposed to be. I'm like, come on, man. Like, nobody saw the fight. Nobody knows if that was a hometown decision. You know what I mean? Like, there's lost archivage of what happened. But what we do know is apparently that was bought off. If it wasn't bought off, does he end up in this position? I say he does because of the talent. You know what I mean? But to your point, man, people, I just think that y'all care too much about the numbers.
Yeah, shout out to people just, that sometimes people, I swear I'm cool with Keith Thurman than you. I'm at a dude house, he knows me, boom, boom, went straight into boxing. I'm walking up the dude's stairs, he's behind me. And Shawn Porter won that Keith Thurman fight.
What, I got 3 losses on my record?
4.
4? I got 4 losses?
Kel, Keith, Earl, Terrence.
Damn.
By the way, on the TV is the tweet that Prograis brought up that kind of resurfaced that whole allegation.
Yes.
If y'all could hear that voice, that's a voice of Jesus.
Well, but I mean, even with that, like I got 4 losses on my record. Keith Thurman has 1 loss on his record.
Yeah. If you just think about those,
I made it to the finish line. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Or where my finish line was, and all the while he's like really struggling now to even be ranked in the top 5 in some people's minds. And of course, when you analyze the fact that he's inactive, which is more than likely why he's not a top 5 fighter with virtually any of the belts. I don't know if he is or not, but I think he should be, even with as inactive as he is, because he does still command money. Whatever he don't command with his inactivity, he gonna command with his presence, with his record, and with the body work that he has accumulated over the years prior to, him being out of the ring. All that being said, he got Staniones coming up, it sounds like.
Yeah, because Keith Thurman between 2012 and 2019 is a problem. This is one of the best to ever do it at welterweight, Shawn.
Can you say that? The best to ever
Yes.
do it?
Matter of fact, I got an argument with somebody and, I kind of let it go. We was back in Nebraska, somebody was tripping. And I kind of let it go because I seen where it was going to go because I was getting mad.
Yeah.
To say Errol Spence is like terrible and he's not he's one of the best welterweights, not top 10, but top 25 welterweights all time, it's crazy. Look at my man body of work before the Terrence Crawford fight. Yeah. Terrence Crawford's just that damn good, but before the Terrence Crawford fight, you can't take away from my man bodies of work. All the champions he beat, the way he beat people, he was a great fighter.
I like to talk generations. I mean,
me too,
I don't
Shawn.
go back.
I
far
say
enough to
what
even,
I seen because
I don't know.
I can't talk about my granddaddy talk about.
Yeah, I just don't know it that way. I know a lot of people have watched so many different fights and have read so many different books that they feel that they can talk about it. But the bottom line is, the old school had a way of fighting, a mentality, a mental way of fighting, and the list goes on. And it's like things have just changed. You know what I mean? Them guys used to, as we say, get it in the mud, really get in the mud. We get in the mud now, but then we lay in a nice little bed. We go and get in the mud now, then we go and get in a hyperbaric chamber. You know what I mean? Like our recovery and the way we do things now, our nutrition and things like that, is completely different. And so for that matter, I just like to keep the generations separate.
Yeah.
They wasn't pivoting the way we pivot now. They wasn't catching shots and doing all the stuff that we do now. They just did not learn it and did not know how to do it. You know what I mean? That's why over the years things change and progress and get better. And so you can't really say whether or not Errol is a great of all time, but you can certainly say without a doubt, he's top 2 of his generation, if not 3, if you put me in that conversation. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, but for people to dismiss everything that he's done based on one fight is wrong.
If you take, honestly, people might, whatever it is, what it is, I'll take our top 4 from this generation, which I'll put Errol Spence, Shawn Porter, Crawford, and Thurman. And I'll go back and take on your best 4 from the 80s. Put your 4 up in the welterweight. Let's do it. Let's do it, baby.
I'll be down. And
I want to say something hot take, but then I know my man Andy will break it down. Then I'm gonna have Floyd on my ass. So I ain't gonna say it.
No, go. Oh yeah, because you're gonna include Floyd or what?
Nah, because I feel like y'all can compete in that era where I make second guess Floyd being able to compete in the 80s.
I don't know.
That damn defense is so good, but Pretty Boy Floyd, yes.
That's what I was just thinking.
Pretty Boy Floyd, yeah. That's Money Mayweather was a businessman.
Yeah.
And, he robbed the bank.
Yeah, couple times.
Yeah, I wish you would change your name to Bank Robber Tony.
Bank Robber.
I didn't have nothing for Porter. I had nothing for Porter. Started robbing him at the end, y'all. Floyd stuck him off about $300 million, half a million.
Did you like what you saw from Giovani?
Yeah. Power. And Robert Garcia. Shout out to the Garcia family. You know, we got all respect for them guys over there. But Robert Garcia gonna get you right.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing about Robert Garcia, you know, generations and generations have been a former fighter, great trainer.
I feel like he kind of cooled, like his name as a whole kind of cooled off.
Yeah.
For maybe a year or two.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think
seeing the way they put it down last night was great.
Yeah. You know, Robert has a factory over there down in, I think they're in Riverside now. No, I was impressed. The power was the difference maker to me.
Yeah.
Because they both was coming, but it's just the shots he was hitting them with was affecting. When he hit him with that uppercut, he just dropped to his knees.
The uppercut
I said,
was beautiful.
Man, only time I see people do stuff like that is Tank Davis. Make you just bow down to me, boy.
They got him at 5'8".
You talking about the Giovani?
They got him at 5'8". He looked a little bit taller than that to me. I know TV adds size to you.
Yeah.
You
get that all the time.
All the time. Talking about, I thought you was going to be taller than this. Like, no, I'm not. So what? Both of them with southpaws, too. I was like, yo, we was looking at the same fight. You know? I feel like Giovani got started faster than Alexis, and just the fight went the way that it went. I also think that fight is going to look that way every single time because Alexis don't really have adjustments. You know what I mean? I didn't see.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what he could do
through the fight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I'm gonna just keep coming.
Yeah.
Eventually, somebody gonna break, and that was
certain things like my dad would try to get me to counter punch, and I try to explain my rhythm does not work on catching and punching, or slipping.
What about with Ugas? You did a little bit,
but it was bait. But I need my aggression. I need to start first. I can start first, and then I can pull back and go, and then I can catch and go. But I got to get the engine running. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things. Like you could say that. Well, maybe he could catch and counter. If he could counter quickly, maybe that would have worked out for him. And that's just not his rhythm. That's not his style. So it wasn't gonna work out for him. Listen, y'all, we got a great, what I consider to be a special guest coming to the PorterWay Podcast. Not a boxer, which y'all shouldn't be surprised to at this point. But an iconic combat artist.
Yeah. And Les.
Welcome to the You got something you want to say?
Nah, I just want to say he's, growing up watching wrestling.
I just got scared looking at him.
Yeah.
I can't look at him.
Growing up watching wrestling, one of his moves is one of the ones you always did on your brother or sister. I still put people in the ankle lock.
Welcome to the PorterWay Podcast. Ken Shamrock, one of the baddest men on the planet in a lifetime. Welcome to the PorterWay Podcast, sir.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you, sir. You got some great things going on. The first thing I thought of is why I don't want to really you're doing Bare Knuckle now. You just started a Bare Knuckle promotional company. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I started up back in 2019 where I got kind of to the end of my career. I loved it so much I never wanted to leave, but wanted to stay a part of it. So decided I'd be a promoter and put a fight and start putting fights together and staying involved outside the ring instead of inside the ring. But I didn't want to just put on anything. I also wanted to do the same thing I did when I was fighting. I wanted to be the best at it. So I had to really dig down into my experiences as a fighter on how I could make a promotion even better than what's out there. And so I came up with some rule sets to try to change it a little bit, make it more fun for the fans and more exciting for the fighters. And so we decided first thing was to take out the ropes and cages because I felt like it was too easy for guys to kind of back up and lay on or use as a weapon to bounce off of. And so I figured take that out, force the action in the middle of the ring instead of laying on a rope or a cage. Next thing was the clinching. Clinching was always the most boring thing in a stand-up fight. Felt like it was a cheat code. You get guys that throw a 1-2 and they grab you, don't give you a chance to counter. So we took that out. And then, of course, true bare knuckle, no tape on the hands whatsoever. Ooh. Of course, guys, you have to be more accurate because if you miss, you'll break your hand. So, and you have to lessen the power because you can't swing for the fences because your chances of missing are very high. So you have to kind of take down the power a little bit and focus more on accuracy, footwork, and speed. So I felt when we did that, and we did our first show back in 2019, it was unbelievable. It was exciting. It was fun. A lot of the fighters raved about how exciting it was for them to actually go in and fight and not have guys grabbing on them or holding them or, backing up into the fence and you had to chase them. So it was fun. Like I said, the very first one, 2019, was fun. We got something. COVID hit, slowed everything down. Now we're back out of it. We got an opportunity to kind of relaunch again. We're doing it at the UNF on October 27th in Jacksonville, Florida. It's 1 week away or less than a week away. We're excited. In fact, I leave tomorrow. I jump on a plane tomorrow to go in and do some last minute promoting. But yeah, everything is great, man. And again, I just want to really appreciate you guys having me on and allowing me to talk about it. Thank you.
No. Listen, I always note things that are said, and I had to say this, man. No, because what the hell you mean in 2019 you was at the end of your career? You was at the end of your career in 2009. You had 7 careers, man. Why did you keep? How could you? And why did you keep going? I mean, you look fantastic even now. What is it about the fight game that you love so much?
Yeah, my background, as a kid, if anybody knows where I came from, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. In fact, I went through the system. I got adopted by a group homeowner at 18 years old. So I was in and out of juvenile hall in placements. I think I went to 5 or 6 different group homes. So I really didn't have anything growing up. But when I finally did, it was through sports. That's what saved my life. It was fighting. And so as I got older, it never changed. It was always my DNA. It's always what made me breathe and what made me get up in the morning, what made me live and be excited about living. Once that started to come to an end, I had to figure out what my identity was or who was I going to be after fighting, because that's all I ever knew. Even as a kid, I wasn't fighting for money, but I was fighting for survival. So everything about me has been about fighting for something. And I needed to find that something to fight for again. And I got into the promoting. And for me, I'm fighting to be the best. I'm fighting to put on great promotions. I'm fighting for guys to be able to find that dream that I found and give them life.
Not a lot of fighters, my fault. Not a lot of fighters come from a world where they don't have a glove on, a world where they don't have tape on, and all these other things that we consider to be safety measures. You know what I mean? Where are you going to find these fighters that'll be fighting in the Valor Knuckle boxing?
Yeah, it's funny you bring up safety, because I fought almost in every situation. No rules, bare knuckle, anything goes. I fought with gloves on, 16-8, 4-ounce, tape, no tape. And when they first put gloves on UFC fighters, Tank was the first one to wear one. And they put it on and said that they were doing it because they wanted to try to protect and make it safer. And I was like, oh, cool. That sounds cool. 6 months into it, I went, that's a lie. They weren't there to protect the head. They were there to protect the hand. It has nothing to do with the guy getting hit. It has everything to do with the guy doing the punching. Mm-hmm. They want the hands protected so the guy continue to keep fighting. Mm-hmm. So I just thought to myself, I've never, in my experience, and again, I grew up fighting on the street. I did some bare knuckle stuff. And so I understand the difference between gloves and no gloves. And I thought to myself, when you first watch a bare knuckle fight, it's unless you're a fight fan, most people, it's hard to see because the blood, the cuts, the broken hands, the broken noses, it's immediately you see that damage. But the difference between a glove is that you don't see the subtle damage being done to your brain.
Yeah.
And when you see guys that have had 20-year careers in boxing, most of them have speech impediments. Mm-hmm. It's the amount of damage, and it's not necessarily from the fight, but all the training you put in to do the fight. Mm-hmm. And so you're getting hit in the head thousands of times, as opposed to when you're doing bare knuckle, you can't spar bare knuckle. A lot of your training is with double end bags, speed bags, footwork, a lot of stuff that helps you get in position to land your punches. So it's just, to me, understanding everything that I know, I would definitely do bare knuckle for a career before I would put a 16-ounce or an 8-ounce glove on my hand and go do all that training to prepare for a boxing match, because I know the damage that my brain's taking through that career.
Wow. Yeah. And where you getting some of these fighters from that'll be fighting in the VBK?
Yeah, I've targeted, and we take them from MMA, we take them from hockey,
Oh, wow.
we take them from boxing. But really, my focus is we're looking at the boxing arena, because I think boxing has got this space there now that needs to get a shot in the arm, because of the way the combat sports are going now. And so we've kind of built our organization, other than the ropes. No ropes and no cages, and obviously no gloves and no tape. But we don't want the clinching, and we don't want all that stuff on there. We want strictly boxing skills. And I think right now you're going to start seeing a lot of boxers, especially as the pay goes up, as this gets more popular, you'll start seeing a transition, because fighters are fighters, and they'll fight whenever they get paid.
Yeah.
And with you doing this, is there any unique things that rules, ring sizes, rounds, rules that is unique just for bare knuckle compared to all the other ones?
It is. I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I'm breaking down a little bit more, is that early in my career, like I said, I had a lot of experience going through, my career. And then when I got to the end, I looked back on it, if I was going to do this promotion, and I wanted to take from what the media was saying and the fans were saying and the fighters were saying, and try to implement something that would be different on a different level. And it would force the fights, more fighting action. And the visibility of the fights were the first thing that came to mind, because I remember a lot of people were always screaming, stand them up, because they couldn't see them.
Yeah.
Because they're on the ground and there's ropes and cages or whatever they were fighting in, and trying to look around it. They got the best seats on the floor, but they can't see. And so I thought to myself, take those down. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, I've never had to stay in the middle of the ring to fight. So ropes and cages have never kept me inside there or kept me from going out of bounds, because I'm always engaging. I'm always fighting. So I figured, let's just take those down. Now, it was risky, because you don't know how everybody else is going to do, right?
Sure, of course.
But when we did that, we did the first fight, it was unbelievable on how fast it was. And the people on the outside, I mean, what they were saying was like, man, we've never watched fights like this before. There was nothing in our way. It was like it was right in our laps. And so that was the first one, and to be much different than anybody else. But the next part of it, too, was no clinching. I mean, a lot of the other organizations, I don't have a problem with it. I think people got their own vision and then what they want to do. But I hate it when someone grabs onto somebody and they punch them. The dirty boxing, I guess they call it, where they grab them and they grab their head and they start punching them. And I'm like, to me, man, it just doesn't look clean to me. I want guys to stand there with the footwork, with the jabs, right hands, crosses, uppercuts, double jabs, whatever it is, and get that boxing where it looks good. It doesn't look sloppy. And so we did that. We wanted to make sure that we kind of stayed true to boxing. And so it looks like boxing and not like a wrestling match that's throwing punches.
Yeah.
And so we've done that, and that's been very receptive to a lot of fighters. I think most of them really like that part where they can let their hands go and not worry about somebody trying to grab them. And the next thing was the clinch. I mean, you look at the clinch, it's horrible when you get a guy that throws a 3 or 4 punch combination, you got him hurt, and the guy knows immediately all he's got to do is grab you, so he get his bearings back. Referee backs him up, he backs away, he starts jumping around trying to recover. To me, that's not fighting. That's a cheat code. And so we take that out. And then, of course, the pureness of the striking. Like I said, I've always said that putting a glove on somebody is not pure God-given talent. Obviously, if you're a boxer, I believe that's pure God-given talent in boxing. But in bare knuckle, it is truly no tape. I don't understand when you say bare knuckle and you got tape all the way up to the knuckles. I'm like, that's not bare knuckle. Bare knuckle is literally bare knuckle, no tape on the hands. And so those are the three, I think, glaring things that are very, very, I guess you could see. Understanding it is there's no clinching, no tape on the hands. And obviously, the footwork is really important, especially when you're talking about no clinching. But the ropes and the no cages is another one that also forces good footwork, because there's nothing for you to back into a bounce off of.
Mr. Shamrock, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Right now, is it only in Jacksonville, or are you guys touring?
No, we've got other ones that we'll be announcing soon.
Okay.
We have locked up in all different states. Bare knuckle is like the UFC in the early days where it was legal. I believe it was in Colorado, and then of course in North Carolina, and there was only like 2 or 3 states, and it started to unfold once they started seeing, how popular it was getting. And I think bare knuckle is doing that now, where I think there's probably 5 or 6 states where bare knuckle is sanctioned. But I think if you look in the next year or two, it'll be sanctioned in almost all states.
And question, is there a way to watch it online?
Absolutely. You can stream it on our app, valorbk.com.
Okay. That was my question.
I'm stuck. Where are you getting these fighters from?
It's MMA and boxing.
He just told you.
I know what he said. I'm so stuck. I feel like you're challenging the fighters. Like, I'm listening to you and I'm seeing what your vision is in my head, but I'm a lot like you. Like, my dad growing up, my dad said the ropes were fire. We were not allowed to put our back against the ropes. So I never fought that way. I'm a come forward kind of fighter. I'm a stand in your face. I'm a pivot, step around kind of fighter. You're challenging the fighters now to not take steps back. Who are you finding that fights that like that?
Yeah. Yeah, you'd be very surprised on when someone steps in there and you tell them the rules on how easy they're able to adapt to, especially if they get time to train for it. We did tryouts where we came in and we told the guys they couldn't touch the ropes and that these are the rules and you can't clinch. And, this last one we just did in Jacksonville, it was unbelievable because every single one of the guys that fought, we had 5 fights. None of them broke the rules. So it was very good to see that people are starting to catch on because we've done 6 tryouts already. And so the word's starting to spread on the tryouts and how to succeed in these tryouts.
Yeah.
And so in this last one we just had, man, we had nobody foul. So the word's getting out there. People are learning, hey, this is the way you have to fight when there are no ropes and there are no clinching.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question. Is there some sort of tryout? Is there something you want to plug in so that people can know how to do the tryout and things like that?
Yeah, we use the advertising. But like I said, we've already done 6. And this was to load up this card that we had. We looked at a lot of local fighters, guys that have done bare knuckle, guys that haven't done bare knuckle, but they're boxers, guys that have been in MMA. And so it's a real mixed crowd, but they're except for our main event, semi-main event, most of them are all local because we wanted to get local guys. We want to be able to find those guys that are good. We want to build our own stars.
Okay.
It's funny you said that because I was thinking outside of the boxing world, the MMA world, you said hockey. You got any football players coming in? You got any basketball players coming in? Any other sports?
Yeah, from what I can see right now, I think we have boxers. We have guys that have already had 6 or 7 fights in bare knuckle.
Yeah. And
then we've got guys that came from MMA that are well established in their hands. That's their strength as a stand-up. So when you see the card, and I've said this, I handpicked these guys. I literally did the tryouts and went out and I handpicked and matched these guys.
That's amazing.
So I'm looking forward to it. And I think the people that actually go to the event and watch it on the streaming, you're going to see that Valor has got some good fights coming up, and it's going to be a fun card to watch.
I just got a couple more for you, Mr. Shamrock. Weight classes. Talk to me about the weight classes.
Yeah, we broke them down just like boxing. All the weight classes are broken down just like boxing. And we've got from heavyweight to lightweight on this card. So it's a maximum spread out. So like I said, I think we've done a really good job at being able to represent a lot of weight classes. Obviously not a lot because in boxing there's 100 of them, but we've got probably 7 or 8 different weight classes out of these 12 fights that will represent on Valor.
And is this a situation where it's to the death? Or is there like is there a point system? I should have said that.
No.
Okay. Is it a situation where is one guy laying down and then the fight's over, or is there a point system? How do you say it? I don't know how to say it.
A knockdown.
Just ask if it's a point system.
Yeah, a knockdown.
Let me educate you a little bit right here. It's called bare knuckle. There are no rules. There are no cages. It's straight go. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Oh man, come on, don't co-sign that, kid.
No. Listen, we got there are some rules. Like I said, the no clinching is a big one because again, we want people to fight. I know fighters want to fight. I mean, just think about yourself when you get somebody hurt. First thing they want to do is grab you, right? So you can't do that. You got to fight your way out of there, or use your footwork, get on your horse, use your jab, get your spacing, and recover. But you can't grab that, and you can't lay on the rope. So it really does. It forces that action, and it really forces the guy to fight. And if you get hurt, man, you got to be able to get yourself out of that. And you can't cheat to do it.
So here, I'll rephrase it. How does one get their hand raised at the end of this match outside of a knockout?
Let me. When you box, right? Usually it's scoring points with the punches landed.
Yeah.
Who wins the rounds?
Yeah.
Or if you get a foul or a penalty.
Yeah.
So there's judges. I mean, literally, that are scoring each round. There are 3 rounds for, obviously non-title fights, but for the title fights, there's 6 rounds. So the judges will be sitting there at the bout circle, and they will be judging each round on punches landed, aggressiveness, that kind of stuff.
And are these 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 3 3-minute rounds or 3 6-minute rounds.
Nice. Okay, and then one more time, how can everybody see this? I want as many people to tune in as possible. Your app, the VBK app.
ValorBareKnuckle.com. You can check it out on our app, or you can go there live in Jacksonville at the UNF. Man, be there. I'm telling you, watching it live is unbelievable.
Hey, just want to give you a shout out. You hired a hell of a promoter because he sold the hell out of this. I'm all in. I'll tell you that. I'm all in.
Dude, I'm just saying, the experience. I tell anybody, you're a boxing fan, you're an MMA fan, and when you look at it, when you first hear about it, I was the same way. When I was like, man, that is just garbage, right? But when I actually started watching it and understood what it took to be successful in it, I realized, wait a minute, there's more skill involved in this than what I imagined. So I challenge anybody that has this feeling in them that this isn't something that's classy or real, or it's just not a sport. I challenge you to go watch it live, or even if it's streaming, watch it, and then make your decision, because what we do in Valor is much different than what you're used to seeing.
Well,
I got one more.
Yes,
before we get
sir.
out here.
Go ahead.
I'm going to take this back to my childhood. I got a wrestling question. Have you ever applied the ankle lock too tight? Because people that don't watch wrestling say it's fake. But at the end of the day, y'all still get injuries and stuff like that. But you ever remember applying it too tight? Somebody got backstage like, Ken, what the hell was you doing?
Yeah, there's probably, I think, 2 times that I can remember where I'd actually put the ankle lock on, and because the guy was uneducated about the submission, he tried to roll the wrong way and popped his leg. So he came back there limping, but that wasn't on me. That was on, I try to tell these guys, don't try to roll or do something fancy, because when I got it on there, you can't get out of it. It's not like a fake wrestling move. This is real. So don't roll out of it. But some of them didn't listen to me, and they tried to roll out of it into a counter, and they ended up hurting themselves.
Yeah, he wasn't no actor. He was not no actor.
He said, it's not my fault. I was doing what I was doing.
Mr. Shamrock, good luck at your event this Friday coming, October 27th. The VBK app, also Valor Boxing Knuckle, Bare Knuckle, ValorBareKnuckle.com is where you guys can watch the fight. And if you're in Jacksonville, definitely check it out live. Ken, we'd love to have you on in the next week or so after this event. Just talk about it and talk to you some more. So we'd love for you to come into the studio as well.
Yeah, I want to talk to you after this thing's over. You guys can kind of come at me a little bit. We can chop this up.
Okay,
perfect. We'll talk to you later, all right? Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Stay blessed.
Yes, sir. All right, listen, Antt. Listen, people at home. We got Francis Ngannou and we got Tyson Fury this weekend in a boxing match.
Yeah.
What you think about that?
But Davin, you got the boxer, one of the best of all time.
All time.
MMA fighter, one of the best of all times.
All time.
The problem is you're going to one of the guys that's an expert in it. I'm taking the home field advantage.
Listen, that ain't our problem, all right?
That's not my problem?
Ain't their problem either. Your problem is you need to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app because you're a new customer. After you download that DraftKings Sportsbook app, you put in our promo code
TPWP.
When you put in TPWP, you bet $5, you get
$200 back in bonus bets.
Instantly, all right? So download that DraftKings Sportsbook app, enter our promo code
TPWP.
Bet $5.
Get $200 back in bonus bets.
Instantly. If you're already signed up for the DraftKings Sportsbook app, all customers can still get in on the action with
a no sweat same game parlay or SGPX.
Max wagering limits apply. Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou this weekend where you need to be betting. DraftKings Sportsbook app. And we want to thank DraftKings for sponsoring this episode. Listen, Antt, In the world of boxing nowadays, something strange always happens.
Yeah, that's the world we live in.
So I brought us to a strange place, all right? So that we can lay down this segment real quick.
Strange for me, not for you.
Exactly. As for the same for Francis Ngannou.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah. Getting in the ring this weekend with Tyson Fury. Yes, I'm worried for the man. Nonetheless, we've teamed up with DraftKings, and we want to thank them for sponsoring this segment. With that being said, talk to me about the betting odds so I can tell you what's going to happen so you know how to bet.
All right, don't bring your spirits up, Shawn. I'm going to get you hyped.
I'm already hyped.
Francis is plus 1,800 by knockout. $1,000 win you $19,000. $19,000.
Listen, the hundreds place then changed in the commas in a different place. So I really like that situation going on right there.
I know you're a money-making man. How you feel about that bet?
Well, if you bet that, you're betting that Ngannou comes in the ring and does something.
Shocks the world.
Yeah, you're going to shock the world. It's like I've said before, you got to bring that UFC world into the boxing ring. You can't leave that out and just think you can get in the ring with one of the greats of generations generations and expect to just box your way to a victory. It ain't going to happen. If Francis does win this fight, however, I do expect it to be by a knockout.
Okay.
I don't think there's any other way Francis Ngannou is going to win this fight.
And if you want to be a safe man, which I am, and a safe bet, I'm going Tyson Fury by knockout, $1,000 plus 160 means you $2,600.
I mean, the number not as big. I noticed that comma didn't really move as much as I wanted it to. But that's the bet you really do go with this weekend. You know, you got some extra chat. You got some extra change laying around. Yeah, we want to use some of that extra change. We want to throw that Francis's way. You know what I mean? But I think nonetheless, man, we really expect Tyson Fury to come into the ring, entertain us, be fun to watch, be electrifying. I'm looking forward to the ring walkout. But beyond that, I'm looking forward to a knockout by Tyson Fury.
So you're saying Tyson Fury will protect this house?
Tyson Fury will protect this house. Tyson Fury will protect this house. It's going to be I think this one's going to be fun to watch.
Okay.
Like I said, man, weird things have happened in the boxing world lately.
Yeah.
This is one of the weird ones that we will, I think, be entertained by. And we'll accept it. You know, Tyson Fury has really fought himself into a position to command who he fights and where he fights. This thing taking place in Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? So very cool atmosphere. It's going to be a cool night of boxing. So what you want to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and our promo code
TPWP.
And when you do that, you bet $5, you get $200 back, bonus bets back instantly if you are a new subscriber. And we want to thank DraftKings for sponsoring this segment.
Man,
Somebody said, "Can I get Ken Shamrock on your show?" I said, "Huh?"
That's what I said.
Yeah, he said, "Can I get Ken Shamrock on your show?" I said, "Hell yeah." Where he at?
Yeah, I'm like, all right.
So he lives out here, not out here in Vegas, but we gonna get him in here so we can get him in the studio. I hope you guys appreciate having this legend on the PorterWay Podcast. That's the first of many, man. I'm looking that right there is where I want to take this podcast, where we got some legends from everywhere coming on and just sharing what they've experienced. I was gonna ask him some stuff about the WWE. I'm gonna save it for when he in studio.
Okay.
We gonna have some.
I had a bunch. Yeah,
we
gotta bring our boy out here too.
Who was that?
The one that was. I got backstage.
Yeah, you're right. I ain't telling him he was coming on.
I know. Yeah. I told him. Yeah, we got. He gonna be on for that one.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So that's that. You guys again. Valor Bare Knuckle. I'll go ahead. I say it now that he ain't on the screen. I was see his.
He jacked.
Man,
he jacked.
I'm not interested in Bare Knuckle.
I was just about to say. That was one of my questions.
But I want you guys
to. Is there an opening for Shawn Porter?
There's no opening. There's an opening for Shawn Porter if they have a microphone ringside for me. So that's what I'm.
So you're interested in working?
Yes, sir. Yes.
But it's a very violent sport. Can you deal with that violence?
No, I cannot deal with that
violence. I know it's weird. People think that's funny. I
wish I had a piece of paper and they say it every time over there in Australia. They know when the fighters come over to our side, I take some of my papers, my notes, and I'm gonna put them up because I don't want no spit coming up on me. I don't want no blood coming up on me. And sure enough, if I'm watching Bare Knuckle and I see somebody, I might go call the 911 myself. So
this dude, after you've been hitting people in your and life.
Yeah,
And
but I've always seen people with gloves on.
Let's see, about
That's because he
30
said,
years you've been hitting people.
He said
he started 5 years old.
Yeah.
You're violent. Very.
Listen, he said that they done took away the clinch. I'm I've hit guys before, and the bell rang, and I'm like, I literally said, "You lucky," and then just went back to my corner. Like, you lucky to get off a clinch. They taking that luck away, man. I don't know what that's gonna look like.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna check it out Friday. See what we got going on.
A lot of people want to be entertained, and I think at the highest level, I don't think we should expect the highest level right off the bat. But bare knuckle at its highest level, with some real boxers, like just hypothetically, and you know, if my fight with Terrence was bare knuckle, you know what I mean? Like if you know, some of those fights where guys are really
Keith Thurman, Shawn Porter, bare knuckle,
but no, because my point, you'll see any boxer going to be more technical and more tactical in a bare knuckle.
Okay,
and boxing is just like. You watch guys, and that's why we always say sparring don't mean nothing. We got headgear on. Yeah. We know we're not going to get hurt. We're going to do some things in sparring that we wouldn't really do in a fight. You know what I mean? Every now and then, you get some fighters that who they is on sparring day is who they is on fight night. But most fighters are a little looser because they feel a little more comfort. Yeah. You know what I mean? So the same thing. We both bare knuckle. We're going to be a little bit more cautious, a little smarter, and a little more tactical with things like that. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't mind saying, you know, imagine me and you know what I mean? So, but overall, I'm interested because I think at the highest level, like that could actually be some artwork.
Be something big and down the road.
Could be some artwork at the highest level.
Sparring stories. You ever spar somebody and they hit you with something with headgear on? You like, oh shit! If I wouldn't have had headgear on.
When I went over to the Philippines and I sparred with Manny, I was like, he ain't all that. Like, he cool.
Okay, but then.
Bruh, we came back to the States and he had about 2 more weeks for his
when
fight.
He was peaking.
Bruh, he was, I didn't understand peaking.
Peak week, okay.
I understand peak week back then.
Okay, so.
That dude hit me with something, and you know how on the cartoons when they hit the bell and the bell shake. He hit me with something and my whole body shook like this. I backed up, moved, kept my composure, and I said, oh, he ready now. Fight week. He ready now.
Was that Miguel Cotto?
That was Shane.
Oh, why didn't you tell?
No, that was Miguel Cotto.
Oh, why didn't you warn Miguel? The ass woman was coming.
Right. Hey, bro, listen. But I was still nervous for him against Miguel because I just you knew who Miguel Cotto was. Yeah. But once it was time for Shane, it was like you knew Manny was gonna handle it. You know, I did that camp with Manny as well, and you know, he one of the few guys that have actually like rung my bell in sparring. Yeah. Let's get to real quick. Let's do Catterall. And did you watch the fight? I mean, I know.
Yeah, underwhelming. Shout out to Jose Linares.
Yeah.
Is it Jose?
Jorge.
Yeah, okay. My
George.
Linares.
Jorge Linares.
First off, hell of a career.
Yeah.
Every time he got in the ring, you knew he was gonna give everything he got.
But you can see it's like.
Yeah, but last night that was probably it for my man.
Now you're just forcing it. If you get back in the ring, you're just forcing it.
Yeah, it was underwhelming. Couple years earlier, this is a great fight.
Yeah.
But this was underwhelming. Catterall did what he had to do, got the win. Called out Josh Taylor. Do I still want that fight? Because I was trying to ask myself that, and myself said no. after T.O. performance versus Josh Taylor. Obviously, we know how they went down when they fought before. It was a close fight. Some people said robbery. I mean, I guess them two back in the ring styles, it could set up for a great night of boxing, but they both gave me performances.
Yeah. I mean, Catterall, he took control, but he's fighting an older gentleman there. But yeah, just I think when you've been around the fight game the way that certainly I have, but you have been recently, where we see like literal flashes of greatness. It's like that's a digression, from the greatness that we've seen in these super electric moves and performances and things like that, to go back to just a good performance. It's like it feels like less. Yeah, it was a good work night for Catterall, but it just seemed like less. You know what I mean? So I mean, again, you asking the question: do we want to see Catterall and Josh Taylor? And it's like, Well, we saw who Josh was. I don't want to say that's who he is now, but
Yeah.
we saw who he was when they fought the first time. It was like I actually thought that Jack won the fight. You know what I mean?
A lot of people did.
And it was just an okay fight from both guys. You know, we don't really want to digress to that kind of fight. You know, so but for them over there making their money and things like that,
That'll
it
do
probably
numbers.
makes sense. It probably makes sense for them over there in the UK.
Well, speaking of, I want to talk about when we turn it up. You want to turn it up a little bit?
Turn it up.
Shout out to my man Scrappy. Is it Ramirez?
Ramirez. No. His name is not Scrappy Ramirez. His name is John.
Oh yeah, cause yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You don't go from Scrappy to John. You know?
Hey, John wasn't tough enough.
Yeah, John.
John don't match his style.
No. So
My
Scrappy,
man,
yeah.
explosive.
Yeah.
I was entertained watching that one.
When I was watching, I was trying to think of who he reminds me of. He doesn't.
Tank?
I couldn't really. But it ain't polished.
But
Tank is polished.
Yeah, I mean, he still got some ways to go.
But I didn't see Tank because, of course, Tank came to my mind. I didn't see Tank.
It's just, I mean, maybe it's John. Okay, but my man, the way he was when he got going. I mean, he got going early, but
Yeah.
the way he said it's so, and his defense is nice.
Yeah.
Like he getting shit off and then bringing it right back.
Yeah.
Getting shit off, bringing it right back.
Yeah.
Like that, I love that. And then the work rate, man, just the power. Super flyweight. What is that? 126?
No,
122?
No, it ain't.
Keep going? 118?
Yeah, it's 118.
Oh, okay. I know there was a little. All right.
I told her I was gonna do the shout out to my wife because I'm watching the fight. And you know what? I'm gonna have to tell you because you ain't gonna know what I was. I always say you guys got to keep going. Guys, stop. The play is there.
I watch you fight with you and you're like, what you doing?
Keep going.
Yeah.
So
Because that's what you would do.
In my mind, we watching it together, and in my mind, I'm thinking like, you just got to keep going. You just keep. So then he got the stoppage, right? And I'm thinking to myself, you just got to keep going. And my wife, she's like, you just got to keep going. I said, you heard me say that before? She said, no, I mean, it makes sense. He shouldn't have stopped, and he didn't, and he got the knockout. Guys just got to keep going. And that's a prime example right there. And also Giovani, too. Last night, that boy just kept going.
Yeah, it wasn't no stopping Giovani.
It wasn't no stopping him. You know what I mean? You get results when you keep going, y'all. For y'all fighters out there that watch this show, when you find it, keep going. Work your defense and keep going. You're right. I thought that Scrappy would look really sharp last night. He looked strong last night, and like you said, explosive. I don't think he is. I think that he looked a little robotic to me, a little stiff in the upper body to me. But I mean, now I'm kind of nitpicking, you know. But when you're talking about the elite, even at 118, those guys they can will and deal it. You know what I mean? So you're right. Like he was punching, the hands coming right back, but there wasn't. I didn't see no rolling, none of that. He didn't need it this fight. You know what I mean? But as he moves forward, those are the kind of things he's gonna need against fighters that's gonna throw back and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, the dude got a name.
He put the super fly on notice.
He got a face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he got a line. His line too is something. Did you see that? Like
Why you always gotta bring up extra? Just go ahead and go. Jesus, why y'all?
No, I was worried for him. I don't know, because I'm 36 and my hearing receding. I don't know what's gonna happen to him
Never know.
in another 7-8 years.
Right? What? He's 27. He's 27.
Ish, yeah.
Yeah. So he getting it done, Shawn. I mean,
he getting it done.
he ain't got it. Anyway's gone, so the division's open.
Yeah.
Anyway's gone, but yeah, I like what I seen a lot. It was funny before I seen the fight. I seen Twitter going off, Instagram going off about him. I'm like, what's going on? All right, so I watch. I'm like, okay.
He got a face and he got a name. They
Yeah.
like what he doing.
Yeah.
They like what he doing.
Got to get that guy on the show. See if he got the talk. Can he talk that talk?
Yeah, I gotta get him. We gotta get him on. I wanted to
on
get him on today, but it didn't happen. Hopefully next week we'll get him on. But definitely one of those kind of guys. A lot like Tank and a lot like Ryan Garcia. Fighter had never even had a belt and has a big name in face and boxing. Scrappy. I don't think a lot of fighters. I think most fighters would rather have the belt than have that recognition. But I think Scrappy is one of the fighters that's going for. They're all going for both, but I think that he's one of the fighters that he loves what's happening outside the ring, but he's trying to do everything he can do inside the ring too.
And when he fights for the world title, he got to come out the little Scrappy or John Wick. One or two.
What's John Wick?
His name's John. That's the baddest John I know.
Shout
Think another John. John Wayne whooped my ass.
out to John Wick. You watched all 4 of those?
Nah, man. No, I'm down. It's the same thing.
I mean, you.
How many times I'm going to watch it?
I was watching the 4th one on my way to Australia. I said, why am I watching this?
Yeah, how many times I'm going to watch it, man? Whooping ass.
Shout out to Keanu, though, man.
Yeah,
That's
shout
my
out to
guy,
Keanu,
man. He's
man.
done some great things in the movie world, the movie industry. Yeah, I think, is that all we got for
I
today?
think that might be all we got. I think our boy Foster fight next week.
Yeah, Shocky.
Yeah, he's finally defending titles.
Yeah, man.
The title. So that should be fun.
Damn, it's been months since we had him on the show.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Dang.
This might be the first one. Got some big fights getting announced. Is Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia, is all that official? Yeah, that's official. Okay. we got next month. We got what's his name? Shakira Stevenson.
Yeah.
Right here in Vegas.
Yes.
F1 weekend. That's gonna be crazy on the strip. I think he'll work the guy. Do what he got to do. What else we got coming down the pipe? In 2 weeks we got I don't know if this is boxing, but we got Tyson Fury. If you're a betting person,
Is that next week? That is
2
next
weeks.
week.
Yeah,
2
next week. Next week.
Next week. Yeah,
Next
this
week
week coming up.
Fury and Ngannou's on the 28th.
This
Saturday.
week, yeah.
This
So,
Saturday.
I'm sure
If
you
you
guys
got
have
$1,
already seen the ads
bet everything
by now.
you got.
So,
Bet everything you got on that fight. I mean everything.
on what?
Tyson Fury. Ain't nobody in another world that don't box gonna beat the greatest heavyweight of this generation right now.
He is the greatest heavyweight of this generation.
One of our best ones, Deontay Wilder, can't do nothing with him.
I don't think Ngannou. I don't know much about him.
I don't give him no.
Yeah, I'm just not sure he can get that job done. I know he's been
That's a
working with
tall
Mike
task.
Tyson, and that was a big part of the lead up to this fight. Was you would think that a Mike Tyson style is the kind of style that you need to beat someone like Tyson Fury. But if you go all the way back to what I said at the beginning of this show, we train different now.
Mm-hmm.
The way that Smoking Joe trained when he was beating Muhammad Ali and a host of those other guys, the way that Mike Tyson trained when he was working the way that he worked, it takes a lot to maintain that kind of stamina, endurance, and intensity.
And taking Tyson Fury punches.
Yeah, and you gotta leave and take on top of all that. I just don't think that Ngannou can overnight, and of course it's not overnight, but for the sake of words, man, I don't think you can overnight learn a Mike Tyson type of style. I think that's what he come into the ring with.
Yeah.
What else would you ask Tyson to be there for? Outside of course selling tickets, but
Yeah, Tyson, give us 5 rounds of entertainment.
Yeah.
And then go ahead and clean him up. That's what I do. Because, if you fought somebody like that, obviously you entertain. But if he hit you with something, you all right, this is done. Lights out.
Well, we saw it with Mayweather and and McGregor.
Yeah.
I remember being there, and for 4 rounds, the first 2 rounds, we looking around he down, and then after 4 or 5 rounds, they'd be like, man, what he doing? He got it. It took 6, 7 rounds for the fighters to calm down and realize that he set him up to what you just said. I'm gonna let you get this off, but eventually I'm going to ignite and do what I got to do. And I think the same thing goes for this fight. I don't think that Ngannou is big enough, smart enough, strong enough, athletic enough, fast enough. The list goes on. MMA. It's not the MMA, but to that point,
okay,
I encourage moving forward. I know it's too late for him, but MMA fighters, UFC guys, you guys coming into the boxing ring going against a boxer, bring that MMA shit with you. Because that's what you gonna need. It ain't the slamming. It's the wild, the unorthodox, the crazy punches that we don't expect because we're so used to the 1s and the 2s, the 3s and the 4s. They come to our world trying to 1, 2, 3, 4 us.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing all.
Yeah, you got to 1, 8, 9, 10 us. You know what I mean?
What's the dude that fought Floyd that threw him everywhere? Madonna.
Oh yeah. Marcos Maidana.
Yeah.
It was a overhand
What is that?
right.
What number? What number that's coming in at?
Man, that was a 7. That was a 7. He kept throwing it. He threw the 7 all night. Yeah, you MMA, come on in here. Come throw that number 7. Don't throw nothing else with the 7. The 7 might get the job done. Listen, y'all, I turned 36 this week.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday, bro.
Didn't see this man one time during my birthday.
Oh, I told you why though. I didn't want to challenge.
First time he told me happy birthday.
No, I told you happy birthday in the text.
Man, that don't count for you.
Oh, okay. All right,
That
cool.
don't count for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a great week though. Thank everybody for the birthday wishes. We did Monday Night Football on Monday. Had some friends come over for that. Tuesday, of course, we did the podcast. You didn't tell me happy birthday then. You had prime opportunity live in front of everybody to do it. That's just, for next year. Maybe you'll make it happen.
Oh, yeah.
Wednesday, we did the go-karts. The go-karts, I always win that. So.
Oh, you went out to the desert?
No, we didn't.
Oh, I thought you was doing that one.
No.
We got to do that.
Yes, that's the next live that we do here. We'll be out in the desert.
All right. December 9th.
Thursday, we did hibachi in the backyard.
Okay.
Did some ping pong in the front yard.
No cops was called?
No.
Okay, because the last time they called the cops on us.
Max showed up late, so I shut down the karaoke. He showed up late, but it was all good. And then Friday, spent the whole day with my wife.
That's nice.
And I mean, Friday was a great day. At the end of the day, I said my best birthdays I have spent with you. Mm-hmm. And she said, "Well, that's good." I said, "Nah, I gotta top that now. Like I gotta do something to top that." I don't know why my mind works that way, but it does.
My best birthday is not with a woman.
I was supposed to be at the Colts game today against the Browns.
Oh yeah, what happened? You did text and say,
won,
I canceled my trip. Just life happens.
Yeah,
I got you. We ain't gonna get too far into it. You'll be at the next Browns game.
Listen, I got a gift for y'all. Well, hopefully y'all consider it a gift. My mother, for y'all that don't know, she's a great singer. Sings to me every year for my birthday. Along with that, the motivational message for this week is just to keep your family close to you. My mother actually between the Charlo and Canelo fight, all the way up until I came back from Australia, my mom spent 3 weeks out here doing some things for me, helping me with some things, helping me with the family. We had a lot going on. Keep your family close to you. Y'all probably, if y'all don't know my mama, y'all never seen her before. You know what I mean? Y'all so used to seeing my dad, y'all don't know that the family's big, and that's one thing that I've always prided myself on is having my family close to me, so keep the ones that you love close to you. It goes beyond not knowing what day is going to be the last day, and it goes into making sure that you spend the best days of your life with those that you love. Pooh Bear, Adonai, he's 3 years old. I still put him on my shoulders. And my wife told me just yesterday, you need to get out of the habit of doing that. I said, no.
I'll be doing that till he's 20.
I'm going to keep him on my shoulders until he's 13.
When he graduates high school, put him on your shoulders.
Until you ain't going to be able to do that. So I might be able to. You not. You might be on your son's shoulders when he graduates high school, when he graduates middle school, nonetheless. But no, honestly, though, the motivational message this week is just to keep close friends, close family, those that you love and those that love you. Keep that kind of energy around you and keep all that. It's that becomes the protective shield for anything that can upset your heart, upset your spirit, upset you physically, anything like that. Those close to you, that love is that protective shield. Keep that protective shield around you, and we will leave you with this audio by my mother, and this is the PorterWay.
Happy birthday, Wooby. Happy birthday, Wooby. Continue to be the man we all know you to be. So here's to you. I love you, I do. So happy birthday, dear Wooby. Happy birthday, baby.
Happy birthday, Wooby.
Why are you gonna mess up the moment?
I don't care. You're done.
This is the PorterWay.
You're done. You should not have let that out. Remind myself for next week. You just ruined you will never know what my mama called me. Never.
Oh, I will.
I know you won't.
I will. I'll find it out. This is the PorterWay.